I'm a gunsmith, and since I advertise myself as a gunsmith, I always get a bunch of questions. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, the 4 most common questions I get. Those questions are guns safe? What is an assault rifle? What is an AR-15? And why does open carry exist? So, are guns safe? Yes, guns are safe. Why would any company want to make a product that's unsafe? That product won't sell well, and that could hurt that company's reputation. Here's a good example. The Samsung Galaxy Note 7. So it had some issues. The phone would explode and light on fire, and no one's standing in line for a Note 7. And as a consequence, Samsung's reputation was hurt badly. Gun companies already have a bad reputation, so they want to earn the public's trust. They have access to new technology they've never had before. Things such as fingerprint scanning, more advanced storage systems, and more robust safety mechanisms. They're working every single day to make guns safer, just like any other company would. So the next question I always get asked is, well, what is an assault rifle? And the US Army has saved us a lot of time, and they went ahead and defined it for us. The US Army defines assault rifles as short, compact, select-fire weapons firing a cartridge intermediate in power between a submachine gun and rifle cartridge. Now, civilians are not allowed to own assault rifles. Civilians are allowed to own rifles modeled after military assault rifles. Now, there are 2 main differences between a civilian legal rifle and an assault rifle, and those are select fire capabilities and barrel length. The most noticeable difference is select fire. What that means is on the side of the firearm there's a switch that allows the gun to be changed from safe to fire. On civilian legal rifles, fire means semi-automatic. 1 squeeze of the trigger, 1 round fired. On assault rifles, there's a 3rd position. That is fully automatic. 1 squeeze of the trigger, multiple rounds are fired. The other main difference is all civilian legal rifles must have a barrel of 16.5 inches or longer. This is just to prevent rifles which have more firepower than a handgun from being easily concealed. Now, there has actually been a number of pieces of legislation passed regulating the type of firearms civilians are allowed to own. The first piece of legislation was passed in 1934. It's called the National Firearms Act. And this act was passed in response to the famous gangsters and criminals of the 1920s and 30s. This act didn't outlaw firearms. It just required all fully automatic and short barrel firearms to be registered. That way the government could keep track of who owned them, and if they got sold, who the new owner was. This act also imposed a $200 tax, which is still in effect today. Then the Gun Control Act of 1968 was passed, and this just further regulated the sale and transfer of firearms. Then finally, the Firearms Owners Protection Act of 1986 was passed, and this completely banned civilians from owning assault rifles. And in doing this, it cleared up some discrepancies in the 1968 bill. So, in short, civilians are not allowed to own assault rifles, and they've actually been regulated for the better half of a century. Which always leads to the next question. Well, then what is an AR-15? And there's a lot of rumors surrounding the AR-15, particularly with the name AR-15. So to start with, an AR-15 is a civilian legal version of the military M16. And there's one main difference. The AR-15 is not an assault rifle. The M16 is. They look and operate very similarly, but the AR-15 is not select fire, and all AR-15 rifles must have a barrel of 16.5 inches. It's not an assault rifle. So, the rumors surrounding the name AR-15, I've heard that AR could stand for assault rifle, automatic rifle, or even a rifle. This isn't true. Our AR actually stands for Armalite rifle. Armalite is a firearms company that developed the AR-15 back in the 1950s. And they make multiple models of rifles. 15 is just a model number. It has nothing to do with magazine capacity or rate of fire. Just think car brands. The Ford F-150. It's just a model number, just like that. AR-15 is actually a brand name. Just like Kleenex or Band-Aid, many other companies make a civilian legal version of the M16. And each company has a different name for that firearm, but they're all universally known as AR-15s. The final question I always get asked is, well, why does open carry exist? So to start with, open carry and concealed carry are a set of laws that allow a person to carry a firearm. Open carry, a person must carry that firearm in plain sight. Now, federal law does not restrict open carry, but 5 states and Washington, D.C. have passed laws banning it. The reason open carry exists is to protect persons who concealed carry. Concealed carry allows persons to carry a hidden firearm on their person. Concealed carry is legal in all 50 states, though there are some discrepancies from one state to the next regarding licensing, training, when, where, and how a person is allowed to carry. It is legal in all 50 states. Now, open carry doesn't protect concealed carry holders in a physical sense, but in a legal sense. If someone is legally concealed carrying a firearm and they accidentally expose it, they can be charged with brandishing. Now, brandishing a weapon means that you drew or exhibited a weapon or firearm in a rude, angry, or threatening way. Brandishing is also a wobbler offense, and what that means is that depending on the situation, it can be either a misdemeanor or a felony. No matter what, it comes with heavy fines and possible jail time. So if a person is legally carrying a firearm and it is exposed, depending on how that situation goes, they could still be charged. If there are no open carry laws, if that display seemed rude, angry, or threatening, they're going to get charged with brandishing. So open carry is merely a legal buffer between accidentally exposing a legally concealed firearm and brandishing a firearm, which is against the law. Now you have new information. Please, go use it. Go argue with each other. Go have informed conversations. Thank you.